Stratford Jolly was a British-born adventurer and writer. He was born in Scotland in 1881, the son of Benjamin Stratford Robert Jolly and Beatrice Williamson, and was educated at Glengarth Boys' School in Cheltenham and the Westminster School, London. In 1908 he married Maud Lyndon Bateman. He served in the Royal Air Force in France from 1917 to 1919. In 1933 he married his second wife Aileen Margaret Steed. He died in 1948 at the European Hospital in Mombasa, Kenya. We will cover his first book and only novel, the 1911 The Soul of the Moor, a romance of the occult. This novel is best described as nothing but padding. A certain Langford is travelling through Tunis with his wife Lucy, after he used his hypnotic powers to keep her alive during an illness by telling her not to die while lying naked next to her. Lucy possesses the powers of a medium but doesn't remember what she told him when she's under. In fact, he consults her in a hypnotic state so much, she almost never has anything to say while awake, so we never get even an inkling of her personality. One night she warns Langford about a Moor who will become obsessed with her and be drawn to her powers as a medium. The Moor keeps trying to force Lucy to leave her husband and come to him, but Langford's touch is able to dispel his influence. This goes on and on and on and on. Then Langford decides to go for a jaunt in the desert for no reason and absolutely refuses to wait even a day for no reason. So of course Lucy gets abducted, but they almost immediately find her in the Moor's house. But Lucy, for some inexplicable reason, lost her, reason due to having spent a few hours driving in a car. So the Moor and Langford conspire to restore her mind, the Moor ending up dying because he gave her all his vitality. Then Langford starts switching bodies back and forth with the Moor to make people think he is still alive. Then plans to die as the Moor in front of Lucy on a yacht because that somehow is the only way to restore her reason. Langford smuggles his own body wrapped up as a mummy in a sarcophagus onto the yacht, then keeps switching bodies to fool the other passengers in a supernatural weekend at Bernie's scenario, before orchestrating his death as the Moor, but not before making out a will signing over the Moor's fortune to the Langfords. Most of the novel is just the Moor doing something off screen and getting thwarted easily. Then the ending is just unintentionally comedic. I have no idea who M.T. Johnson was. It's even more confusing because their only known work says they are the author of something called The Haunted House, as if that's supposed to mean anything. I could not find any record of this existing under the author's name even in the British Library catalogue, nor from the same publishing company or anything called this from around the same time issued anonymously or pseudonymously. The name being so generic doesn't help either, and on top of that, the source we are talking about, the collection A Tale of Second Sight and The Forbidden Sale, doesn't even have a date of publication, and I have seen dates online given between 1882 and 1900. As for this collection, the first story concerns a girl who lives on the coast with her father on his estate, but one night as she's sitting among the crags in a precarious position, in the dark, she is visited by the female ghost that protects their house named Cecilia, who warns the narrator to expect bad news from a Mrs. Green. The narrator, who we only find out is also named Cecilia in a random aside on page 42, doesn't know anyone named Mrs. Green. Suddenly she gets sent to visit an aunt the next day and tells us Mrs. Green is her aunt's frequent visitor, like we should know this already. And then Mrs. Green pops in to tell her fiancé's ship got wrecked on the coast. But Cecilia knows he is okay by virtue of her gift of second sight. Information Mrs. Green immediately confirms, making sure there is no danger of there being any tension whatsoever. Then the ghost shows up again and tells her to expect better news, and it turns out it's the same news she already has about her fiancé being okay, which was never in doubt. Also at night she hears mysterious footsteps in a hidden passage behind a wall in her room which are never explained, which leads to the discovery of a hidden room with nothing in it. And then it ends mercifully. The second story is about two boys taking a boat out despite their parents' wishes and nearly drowning in a storm. That's it.